H2O is the way of the world. Everything that is the beginning is the end. It is connected by water. Welcome to another family friendly episode of That's the Effing Trailer. My name is Mr. Royal.
My name is Durden Godfrey.
And today we will be reviewing, spoiler free, Avatar 2 Way of the Water.
The Wow.
Yes. Hashtag wow.
We'll also do a quick retrospective on the first Avatar as well. And did you already say this is going to be family friendly?
I did, but if they can't tell by my voice, now they should know. Not only will we be reviewing Avatar 2, Wow, Where the Water, hashtag H2O, we will also be reviewing or letting you guys know the upcoming trailers that we saw with this film. And by the way, there's only one true way to watch this film. Durden, could you tell them how that is?
In 3D,
IMAX.
IMAX 3D.
You better know it.
Yeah, so during the episode tonight, we're not going to be playing any clips from the film because it would just do a disservice to the one thing that everybody can agree on about Avatar is that the cinematography is amazing and
That's why they didn't let those seats lean back. They want you up for it the whole time.
yeah. Well,
Interesting.
actually, somebody might disagree. James had left a comment in here. He said TTFT's first video game review history we're witnessing right here.
Well, I think I know how he feels, but we'll wait for him to come in and give his own interpretation, if you will.
Yeah, and James actually he reviewed it as well on his channel, so check that out
Wasn't
on
he like
James MCD
5 when the
Reviews.
first Avatar came out?
Actually, 13 years ago, he had to be like 7 or 8, maybe.
Yeah, man.
And then Terra Fright says, "Is this a scary movie?" There are actually some scary parts in Avatar 2. There
I
are
would
some
give it that.
suspenseful parts.
I would say very suspenseful. I don't know it.
They're few and far between, but when they play,
I
they
think
play
there's at
pretty
least a
hard.
1.5, 2 jump scares in there.
Yeah, yeah. There's, but it's not a scary movie.
No.
I mean,
Well,
it's
depending
scary
on which,
if you're a Navi and this was like reality, it would be pretty
or
terrifying.
if you are, I don't know. I know I'm claustrophobic. If you're afraid of water, it's definitely going to be scary for you. I mean, all jokes aside, if you have a fear of water, don't go see this film. You will not make it through it
That's
at
true.
all.
There is a real phobia.
Yeah, phobia. I don't know. It's not aquaphobia. It's something. That sounds about
It
right.
should be aquaphobia.
It should be, but knowing me, it won't be.
But before we run the intro and get into wow.
Yes.
Let's just quickly just get the first Avatar out of the way. Do you remember where you when you first saw it, what your initial thoughts were?
Yeah, I first saw it 5 years after it came out because I was sitting home one night. I didn't have anything else to do. And here's the thing: when something new comes out, I don't like to be all ready to be on it. Not all the time, unless it's something personal to me. But I just like when everybody's talking about it and everybody has to see it, then I know everybody's going to be talking about it, and I don't want to be swayed by its opinion. So yeah, sometimes I let like 2 or 3 years after Game of Thrones went off before I binge watched all the seasons. So the first one, when I finally did sit down and watch it, it had been a few years it passed, and I watched it, but I got to say I cheated myself because again, I broke the cardinal rule, which is if you're going to watch Avatar, you have to watch it in the spectrum that the director and the cinematographer intended it for. And again, the story was just so. I had seen the storyline before, but I still thought it would, put it this way. I knew I had missed something because it was so beautiful on a regular high definition TV. So I could only imagine, and I couldn't go back and see it in theaters until they did the re-release.
Oh, so you saw the re-release?
No, I said I couldn't go back. Stop exposing me to everybody.
Well, because if you were a part of seeing the re-release, then you would have taken hand in dethroning a Marvel property from the #1 box office.
My body won't let me do that.
Back in that spot.
My body won't let me do that.
James MCD, he goes, I would have been 9. I never saw it when it came out, so it was at least cool to get that theater experience everyone else got. Yeah, same with me. I didn't, and same with you. I didn't get Angela and I watched it on a big screen. I think we had the 3D glasses, so we still saw it in 3D, but it wasn't in the theater. It wasn't like the surround sound and the full experience. And I remember when I watched it, I felt like I cheated myself. It's like, damn, man, this would have been so amazing.
Watch that mouth.
Hey, man,
it's family friendly.
DAM.
Okay. Oh, a dam, like water. A dam of water. It
was really built. The emotion was building up inside of me like a dam.
Okay.
And check.
Marking it.
So when we watched it, I felt like I put it off for. It was just one of those movies like everybody is talking about it. Like I'm sure it's great, but it's like whatever. It's But when I finally saw it, I was like, oh my god, it was intense. It was like
Did you know what technology the original Avatar was based off of?
no.
It was what they did with Gollum with Lord of the Rings, like and I was not even into Lord of the Rings like that, but with that mocap is so amazing. Like to me, that's whenever you're gonna do motion capture now, like the creme de la creme of it is Avatar level, like just bullet time and string work with the Matrix, how that like, oh, it has to be Matrix level with what they're doing with this motion capture, because I've seen it in a lot of other films, but again, they kind of took that precipice from the Lord of the Rings, and then what they did with that character, and then what they did with the first one and this one, even more so this one. Like I can see, James, I don't know if this was you were referencing to earlier about when you say it's a video game, but a few minutes into the film, you feel like you're there with them. Like I didn't see anything happening to my left, right, up, or down. Like I was in the experience.
Yeah, well, we'll get to are you talking about the first one still?
Oh no, I was just saying I was trying.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first what I was what I was most surprised with when we were done watching the first one was the fact that the first one was like around 3 hours too, or really close to it, and I wanted more when it was over, and that's like I was expecting it to be a chore to get through when I saw how long it was, because you know how I dread super long movies. It's over 2.5 hours,
Unless it's Marvel,
especially if it's Marvel. You mean? But I was just so impressed with it, and I was really happy when I found out that he was doing more. Like, even though it's been like such a long wait,
10 years to be exact.
yeah. But to be able to have that experience, to see it in theaters, and I know, like, I saw Dark Knight, Dark Knight in IMAX, and I saw it on the big screen, and it's just such a different. It like adds so much to the movie.
I took my daughter to see Dark Knight, and people are like, I think she's like 12 or 13 at the time. I'm like, man, you don't get it, man. They don't understand like those moments when, like you say, but to your point, that IMAX is not a ripoff. Like, you know how sometimes they say HD extra texture, like when movies like this, you truly see what non-compression does to film, and especially with the first one as well. But before we get too far, we're gonna
Annie says, hey guys.
Hey.
Annie saw it too. Stick around, Annie. Put your review in here when we get to the review. We'll include yours in there too. We're obviously, I know that you said that you loved it. I'm going to be interested to know why, and if you would have changed anything. Was there anything you didn't like about it? James says you pretty much nailed it. Royal Avatar would be a better video game than a movie.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We will get there. I have some thoughts on that. And James, we haven't not watched your review yet specifically, so we didn't we tried not to
overlap. Cross streams, if you will. See what I did there?
Allow one opinion to affect our opinion.
That's what I meant by cross streams. That was a water reference and a Ghostbusters reference. Get it together, man. Not two, though, James.
That was made for
you couldn't
it was orchestrated by the gods.
Oh man, the water gods. Oh, shout out to Poseidon.
Sorry. Before we get into Avatar, the Way of the Water,
hold on, you didn't know
what?
You didn't know what I meant by that?
Yeah, because Poseidon is a water god.
Oh, okay, there you go. You try? Okay, all right, man.
Poseidon, the point.
Per se.
Avatar: The Way of Water is James Cameron's long-anticipated sequel to his 2009 smash hit. One might argue the anticipation lasted so long that it turned into confusion as to why it took so gosh darn long. More on that later. Sam Worthington reprises his role of Jake Sully, now fully integrated into life on Pandora with his wife, Neytiri.
Why does he always look at me?
Neytiri, because you're the pronuncier. Played by Zoe Saldana. And their family. Life is good as Jake navigates being a father, a leader, and the Na'vi. But then the sky people return and all heck breaks loose. Now they have to move from their home with the tree people, soar through the wind, and go live with water people, set a bunch of fires when they fight sky people, Captain Planet. Also returning is Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, Pounder, Joel David Moore, and Giovanna Ribisi pops in there literally. And then some new faces worth mentioning include
Cliff Curtis,
yep,
Kate Winslet,
as the leaders of the Water
Navi, Kate Winslet,
famously said she'd never work with
James Cameron
again after the grueling experience she had on
Titanic,
Boy, oh boy, did she pick a great film to return for. She actually broke
Tom Cruise's
underwater filming record for this in Mission Impossible.
Rogue Nation, Cruise,
Shot for 6 minutes underwater.
Kate.
Went for 7 minutes and 14 seconds.
That's how you do it.
Jermaine Clement as Dr. Garvin is great. Jake Champion as Spider, and Edie Falco is as a terrifying force as General Ardmore.
What was that budget like? I heard it was over 300.
$350 million it took to make this thing, and it has already brought in $440 million worldwide in the 5 days since its release.
I bet it did over 130 plus.
It did $134 million on its opening weekend. And for comparison, the first Avatar made $77 million during its opening weekend, and it currently sits at the top of the box office records to this day for highest grossing movie of all time.
Is it true they're going to do a couple of more sequels?
It absolutely is true, but before he fights with himself on the sequels, the first Avatar actually beat Titanic for the #1 spot, which is also a James Cameron film for those who don't know. And as far as putting butts in seat goes, it seems as though James Cameron's only going to be competing with himself for the foreseeable future. 3 more sequels are on the way. Part 3 is already in post-production with release date in 2024. Part 4 and 5 are currently in production with release dates in 2026 and 2028.
Did you say that James Cameron is only going to be competing with himself for the foreseeable future?
You got something to say about
Nope, Skynet.
Oh,
boom.
Well, that's James Cameron.
I know. That's why I just said Skynet. He's always been competing with himself.
Which is funny. That's the only other time that he's done a sequel in his career is Terminator 2. And we all know, like, that's like the creme de la creme.
It is. That now along with Mission Impossible. I mean, not Mission Impossible. I'm sorry. My apologies. No, also along with Top Gun Maverick. I told you, man. Hey. Good film's a good film, man.
It's pronounced Blue Gamora.
Is that Blue Gamora? Is that the water stuff? Afraid of water? Is that someone's name?
He's making.
Who said that? James. Yeah. Oh, James he's about this.
You're gonna have to put in.
Oh no! Hold on. Blue Gamora, Marvel Universe. Those are
I thought Gamora was a Marvel thing.
No, you didn't. You just said it. Good shout out, James. We have. I like all Gamoras. The black one, the blue one, the green one. Well, the yellow, black, or white is always precious in my sight.
Before we get into the actual film, let's talk about those trailers before.
Well,
we walked in just in time. And you go to our Instagram right now, you can see what I'm talking about. We walked in for it's like he was stepping into the ring just for you. It's like he was waiting.
Man, listen, again, it's already on the record that me and Michael B. Jordan have no issues. We're back on the same page. Let's get that out the way. And I was happy to see him on the screen. And it was just yet again, it's just still, is there 4% of me that's still like, damn, I wanted to be in this series? Yes. But it's not what you want in life, it's what you work for. Hey, again, I'm not going to rehash why. You can go check out any of our episodes and
watch the Instagram post. You can see everything he says doesn't matter. Just look at his face when he turns around and sees the camera, seeing him in the moment.
Well, I walked. Because you know how sometimes people say they're bigger than life. Literally, I walked to him on IMAX. I'm just like, I heard his voice as soon as we walked in. But it's okay, man. It's all good. Creed 3 is coming out, and you have Jonathan Majors, who's starring in everything right now. I think he has a movie called, if it's not Flight, it's something very close to Flight. He's also playing Kang and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And of course, he's going to be playing the antagonist here in Creed 3. And he definitely looks like Mike Tyson. The kid is built, he's ripped, so you got to give him credit for putting in that work. This is not CGI like in 300 with the abs. And yet again, this is the one that's going to be directed by Michael B. Jordan. So now he's stepping into the helm of that. He's directing this, and this will not feature Sylvester Stallone. So I'm excited to see.
That's like taking it back to the origin of Rocky with the same actor director.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. That's like, and that probably should add in, huh?
Did he write it?
Yeah, him and his brother. Whew. They did the
treatment. Look at what the screen says, James.
It's pronounced Blue Gamora. Hold on. Petition to get. Thank you. Oh, James. That's what I'm talking about, brother. Here we go. There we go, man. See, there we go.
Yeah,
Thanks.
well, James also said that he was going to mark every "Did you know" with Durden on the last episode, and I'm still waiting on that. So we'll see if a petition actually makes it
Well,
out there.
no, man. This
You're
he
busy.
was,
I mean, you got more important things to do.
yeah, like petition Royal to be in Creed 4.
Or
Also,
college.
he won't need to go to college once I make it.
That's true. That's true. That is touche. All right, damn, we're only into one trailer.
Watch that mouth. Only I didn't say fudge.
Spider-Man.
Which one though?
Into the Spidey
across the
Across
the Spider-Verse. Very close. It's too many verses for you now. You're an atheist. There's too many verses.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to tell them what you saw in that trailer, especially with those 3D glasses. Tell me that didn't look bad.
Oh, my bad, James. It's already in the comments. Sorry, we can't see those.
No, I can see. You're the one with glasses.
Thank you. On behalf of him, I can care less. But actually, if you make it, yeah, let me edit that.
Make what?
Creed 4.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
there you go.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. What'd you think about it with those 3D glasses on it? Did that not look dope?
Spider-Man.
Across
I'm
the
trying to think
Spider-Verse.
if there is anything of note to me about that really like.
Okay, you just can't say Spider-Man like that. Let's make it clear. This is not MCU
This is
Spider-Man.
Miles, right?
Yeah, Miles Morales.
Okay.
And how you're so you seeming very Terry. You're seeming very Terry right now.
Huh?
You're seeming very Terry right now.
I don't understand, Terry.
Gilliam.
Oh, why?
Because you're like, is this the Miles one? I don't know, man.
I don't.
Spider-Man.
I'll get to that when we get to Little Mermaid. no, I don't. I just don't know. You
don't know enough.
I don't know enough. Yeah, I know that the first one
won a lot of awards,
big waves because it broke all the kinds of.
It's top-notch animation, man. Voiceover work is dope. Again, you got the story of Miles Morales, and again, it was Into the Spider-Verse the first time. This time, it's Across the Spider-Verse. Guys, go check out the trailer. It's super dope. And again, in IMAX, it just looks amazing. What do we have next? I'll talk about this one because you don't get to say anything.
Oh wait, yeah, no, I do get to say something. The new fucking Mission Impossible movie.
Go for it.
Tom Cruise is gonna make me curse, man. I apologize, kids. You'll understand one day. This movie is like, what is this? Like the 5th one?
No, we're way past 5.
They're now at the point, like he says, Mission Impossible, blah blah blah, Part 1. I'm like, now the sequels are getting sequels.
No, you didn't have anything with Mark and Jay catching fire part. Hunger Games Catching Fire Part 1.
I had a problem with that as well. I don't think I even saw it. That's just, I mean, kudos to Tom Cruise. I had just earlier.
He's doing his own stunts,
and the stunt looks amazing. Like you could watch it on YouTube, but to see in IMAX,
you see the wind and the centrifugal force or whatever it's called.
And to know that he really did it.
Oh yeah,
psychopath.
Whatever.
Yes, yeah.
So there's another Mission Impossible coming out. Again, this is the one I think, if I'm not mistaken, after Ghost Protocol. No, it's way past Ghost Protocol. But anyway, it's coming out. He looks good. He's still doing his own stunts. And just when you think they can't push the edge any far, they push the envelope so much further. So guys, check out that trailer as well. Shazam!
Yeah.
You got anything?
No. What was is this like?
This is DECU, DCEU, whatever.
It's the last surviving thread of integrity in the DC universe.
Well, yes, because I don't know what James will fight me on this one. You know, James Gunn's coming over to him and another guy to held the DCU now, which it does need a makeover. So when you ask, is this the lasting thread? No, because we still have Ezra Miller's Flash, and we still have.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, it's coming
with Ezra Miller.
Yeah, yes. They were too far in, brother. The movie was already completed, so that's dropping. I think it's definitely dropping. That's happening. And we just had Black Adam, and of course, Gal Gadot will not be returning as Wonder Woman, nor Patty Campbell, the director. Well, I think Gal Gadot still may return, but not with that director. But they're definitely scrapping Henry Cavill.
How did they not realize that they could just immediately save themselves by just releasing a teaser that no one have to shoot anything? It just says Michael Keaton, Batman Beyond. And everybody would and DC stock would immediately go. Whoop, and
they kind of did that. They didn't have to do that because that happens in the Flash trailer. That Michael Keaton shows back up in Flashpoint.
Yeah, but you can't be guaranteed what you got.
They did guarantee.
Fans you're getting.
That's what you just did. Michael Keaton, Batman Beyond. That's what you just did. Yeah, you just guaranteed it. So did they. What's wrong with you, man? Anyway, Shazam's coming back, and it's not like I say, it's going to be really good. I can't say it's going to be really. It looks like it's going to be really good. Again, if you didn't see the one Billy Madsen, of course, that story, his friends are with him now. The only interesting part about it is that does tie in with the movie The Rock did, Black Adam, and of course Henry Cavill made a cameo at the end of that as Superman, but they've already cut it and said Henry Cavill is not coming out, so they cut out Superman and Wonder Woman from Flashpoint. So yeah, that's coming out.
That's a mess.
Hey man, just me explaining it and it is a mess, but whatever. So
Yeah.
I'll let you tell them about this next one. Tell them about your people.
What, Oppenheimer?
Huh?
But I mean, this is the new we're getting a new Christopher Nolan movie.
We are.
And I don't know enough about it to speak on it. I could just say it looks amazing. And I was really happy to be able to, I heard everything.
Mhm.
It's almost like he didn't want to admit that he agreed with the constructive criticism that he received about Tenet, specifically going way beyond
understanding of the human brain, even on
trying to say, no, you're not. I don't want people to hear the dialogue. No, I think
this is a movie you really want to hear the dialogue. I mean, that one in there, Tenet, yes.
So, and this one, if you notice that trailer for Oppenheimer, it opens up before you even see anything or hear music or sound effects. You hear a voiceover clear as day. It's okay, clear dialogue. Oh my goodness, it's a Christopher Nolan film.
And it didn't shock me because I looked it up on IMDb prior, but when I saw that it looks like a cameo at the end, but it's not. To see that Robert Downey Jr., he looks like he's all the way into that character.
And then that trailer. There on the next movie, there's 3 white people that got up and walked out.
They went to the bathroom
to throw up. the Disney's new Little Mermaid. Disney was pretty tricky about it. They got you real excited, like the diehard Little Mermaid fans. They reel you in, and they don't show you exactly what you're working with. And then at the end, it's like, bam!
I thought the movie had started because we were in so much water.
There was that, but yeah, that's I mean,
you said there was black. What did you say?
Do you have anything to say on that? Because I don't.
Well, no, I'll say what I talked to you about last night. Listen, I'm a fan of a representation of the times, and again, not to get too much into it, I will still want to see the movie, but I just still think you should keep certain characters at how they were. And again, because there's enough characters for anyone to create. And again, to me, it's a representation. If we didn't grow up with that specific type of Little Mermaid, fine. And I don't get me wrong, I hope the actress does great. I am rooting for her, not just in this role, in any role she plays after this. I am rooting for her. I'm rooting for the film. I'm saying if I see a film about Dick Tracy that's made in 2030, I still want Dick Tracy to be white. Because that's what you guys wrote him as, or whoever wrote him as. And if I still, like you said, again, like when people got upset when Johnny Depp played Tonto in The Lone Ranger, I saw why. It's Johnny Depp. Even what is the perfect way for me to say it? I'm gonna end it like this. Rest in peace, Paul Mooney says it. Tom Cruise, the last samurai. Give me a damn break.
Yeah, I think the only thing that bothers me about it has nothing to do with who is playing the Little Mermaid. It's why Disney would make the decision to do it. It's like, you think they really care about race relations or unity or the people in general or anybody? You think they care about anything other than the bottom line, which is making all of the money in the world and owning everything, which what every company is trying to do? So it's annoying where they do something like this, and then it starts this. They know that the Twitter war that starts from it is going to just be free marketing for them.
So yeah, and Little Mermaid.
At the end of the day, it's like it's just
yeah. So there, not to get on our soapbox.
It's weird because you're getting more inclusivity in film, but it's like at the expense of giving the devil ribbons that he doesn't deserve.
You lost me like exclusivity.
With that being James says the sound mixing, and I feel like I'm saying Oppenheimer wrong. I feel like it's Oppenheimer.
It's Oppenheimer.
Okay, you let me do that every time.
I thought you said Oppenheimer.
Open is gonna have the opposite problem as Tenet, where the explosions are gonna be too low. Yeah, he's gonna course correct too far.
It's gonna sound like a game of tank wars. Speaking of that, here, all right. Your favorite Pratt is back. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And you know what? I saw you cracking up doing that
I don't
trailer.
want to say what's going to, I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
You're not ruining it because it's in the trailer. If you see it's in the trailer, it's not a spoiler alert.
let's just say there's a hilarious punchline at
There's
the end.
more than one hilarious punchline.
Yeah, but the end is what really got me.
Yeah,
Is that what's that? What's the
you're
character
talking about
inside
Drax.
That? Is that
Drax.
Dave
That
Bautista?
is Dave Bautista.
Look at me. I don't even know who the character is.
I mean, you
for
laughed
Dave
at everything he
Bautista.
said when he started
He was
talking. Like,
killing it.
yeah, he's a
I
great
feel
actor,
like,
man.
feel
Yeah,
like
he's
that
there,
could
yeah.
be like Michael Chiklis. He gave me the vibes of like Michael Chiklis as what was that, Fantastic Four
Yeah,
or whatever.
dude, I've seen him, and I think if I'm not mistaken, Army of Thieves, like and in other films, the Hotel Artemis. Like his acting is surprisingly very, very good. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is Phase 5 of the MCU. It's going into where we get Jonathan Majors as Kang. We go into the quantum realm. And again, they have a hell of a job here to try to tie everything together that's been going on between these shows and everything. But guys, just check out that trailer. Groot looks and teenage Groot looks like he looks very interesting. I'll just say that. But it looks like it's going to go down. James Gunn has a very good percentage rate of knocking it out the park, so we'll see.
Well, then, okay. So we're going into Ant-Man now. That's
Dang
the
it,
last
darn it.
trailer that plays. And
Darn it, I messed part of that up. Guardians of the Galaxy will not be going into the quantum realm. I looked over there and said Ant-Man. Ant-Man will be going into the quantum realm with Kang. I do apologize.
Quantumania.
There you go.
Okay.
Ant-Man. Yes.
Bill Murray enters the MCU.
Yes.
You get Bill Murray in the trailer. But something that bothered me about Ant-Man, not about Ant-Man specifically, but watching Ant-Man directly after watching the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, you could totally tell that the same production house is cutting these trailers, or at least there's like always a trend in how trailers are cut. And like right now, the trend that we're in is like taking old 70s or 80s music and slowing it down and making it dramatic and putting everything in super slow motion. And then, that's like,
yes, it is the same production house. It's Marvel.
Yeah, but I think they send those trailers out to they outsource trailers.
They do, but they
that
also
do
have
that
to keep the same
specifically.
tone though, because remember they're building a universe. These aren't independent films. They are, but they're not. They're all a part of a connective tree.
I'll give it to them. I mean, it was they were both good. Just watching them, they shouldn't have put them one
Man,
after another.
I'm gonna just say it like this. To quote my guy, Woody Harrelson from Zombieland, all you needed to say was Bill freaking Murray. That was it. So there you go.
Yeah, that's all you need. Well, I mean, he might be canceled by the time it comes out.
And I doubt it.
I don't know.
Gina, Steve Ezus. Like Steve Ezus.
Your girl's coming after him.
Okay.
Gina Davis.
Hey.
He apparently.
So where are we at? Until it's proven, I don't want to hear it. Bill.
Let's talk about Avatar 2. Wow.
All right, guys. Avatar 2. Again, we saw this in IMAX 3D, so our experience and notes will be coming from that perspective. First and foremost, I will just say, wow, presentation, sound, overall theme, pacing. This is a 3-hour plus film. Really, it's a 3-hour and 35-minute experience once you add the trailers that we just talked about.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
yeah, that's worth mentioning.
Yeah, because we were there.
We went in at 10:30 and got back at 3 in the morning.
I'm like, what's going on here, man?
We saw it today.
Yeah,
we started watching it yesterday and finished this morning.
And now we're doing the review. Who said we don't love film? But with that being said, overall, I'm going to give it overall, not the film, just the opening presentation, my opening moments of being drawn into that universe. I was captured right from the front. Right from the beginning.
Yeah, I like that it takes. I mean, with 3 hours, it's James Cameron is taking his time. This is a slow
world building,
character build. But I did notice in the very beginning when the sky people come, and they're like torching everything, and the rolling flames are blowing through the forest. That gave me some like T2 Judgment Day vibes, like when the actual Judgment Day is happening and the flash forwards, I guess they'd be. It's almost like a lot of things in this movie. It's like James Cameron was taking, it's almost like a quilt of everything that he's done improved upon. Like you get some Titanic in there, of course. Like there's a strange continuity between Avatar and Avatar 2, but there's so much time in between them that if you went back and watched Avatar right now, it's such a stark difference. Just even in the way that the avatars look and everything, it looks so much better.
They went more into just Pandora. It was more into their world this time. It was kind of some of the complaints people had about the first Black Panther. Like they loved the film, but they wanted to see more Wakanda. Well, this time
Annie seconds your wow. Sorry.
Thank you, Annie. WoW 2, WoW 3. And so they did a lot of world building this time. You got to see more as we're going to talk about later, indigenous species and
Yeah.
seeing different. And I love, like I said, they delve into the lore of the film. You don't need it on the first one, but now you're starting to see, like, we'll get into the different clans and the different philosophies. Like, and again, I liken it back to, you asked me earlier, what do I liken it to? I said something like maybe Planet of the Apes or Wakanda. And Wakanda, they had a lot of different tribes. Now we're starting to figure out there are a lot of tribes of Navi.
Yeah, with distinct differences because of where they've come up. James says, I typically don't go for 3D. It kind of strains my eyes, but that is the proper way to watch this movie. The visuals are absolutely gorgeous. Yes, totally agreed. It's they're like, it was done so well, and there are parts that I actually thought something was getting in my eyes.
I saw you doing that. I was wondering what was going on
because I thought there was something getting in my eyes.
He's tripping
balls. I will say on the, like, yes, there's no disputing how beautiful the cinema, like everything is about the movie. It looks gorgeous, and it's done so well, and it's best served in 3D on a big screen. Yes. And the surround sound also plays into that in the movie. You heard the water trickling in different sides.
Yeah.
But on the subject of the cinematography and that, I will say that if I could change anything, it was those digital punch-ins, like when action is happening and the camera will, like, it's kind of like the Cloverfield thing. It'll zoom, it'll digitally punch in, then digitally punch back out. It's
that's sort of what James is talking about with that video game feel as well too. Like you're playing Doom or you're playing something like that.
Yeah, almost like you're aiming a gun and it brings it in so you can see the crosshairs better, and then comes back out. I'm like it doesn't look bad, but it's like I would expect more from James Cameron.
But I wouldn't. I'm going to tell you why, because he's being true. He's showing you this is how the Navi's vision. First off, you're going from watching something, think of it this way. You're going from watching something cinematic to the way you're supposed to watch it. But then he has the challenge of at least taking the chance of saying, if from a Navi's perspective, their eyes are so good, this is what they are seeing. You were just watching them. Now they're watching the battle. This is exactly what they are seeing.
Now, I'd have to go back and watch it, because if it's giving me POV and it's doing that, but it seemed like these were just stylistic, just cut in
shots. I know what you're saying, but my point is, I feel like they were taking you back and forth between watching what was going on and then maybe you were seeing whoever that character is, what they saw in the battle. I'm not making an excuse for it. I'm just saying, when you take 10 years to plan something out, I don't think that would just be something campy they would do, like an effect they just got like
it's just like, I don't know, like even with that explanation, knowing how that is, like, it's two keyframes. It's A 100, B 150. Separate them a good distance so it punches in naturally, and it's like,
but no, it's war, man. It's war going on.
$300 million movie.
I know, and I think I believe it was done on purpose. It didn't jar me.
I'm sure it was done on purpose.
Well, I'm not sure. Like, I mean, it's up for debate.
Yeah.
When you go watch the film, check it out.
Annie says, this was my first movie watching 3D. I absolutely loved it. It was beautiful to watch and actually be a part of in some moments. Yeah, it does feel, it's immersive.
Well, Annie, I recommend this. Don't watch anything else in 3D, because if this is the creme de la creme. Anything after this is going to be like, she's going to go back. Like, I went back and watched Jaws 3D. It didn't do it for me.
3.
Like,
you have to wait for Avatar 3 to be blown away.
I'm saying, like, don't go back and watch anything beforehand.
James said Man of Steel did that cross zoom thing a lot too, and it was just as distracting.
I'm not going to say you guys are wrong, because if you're coming from a distracting perspective, I told him the Cloverfield thing, I hate it because the camera shakes the whole time. So if that's it, I just didn't find, James, I know exactly what shot you're talking about too. I just didn't find it distracting, but that's me.
It's not distracting. It's just like low hanging fruit. It's like it's not needed, and it's just kind of like throwing style. Where like this movie, it's inconsistent with the rest of the movie, because this whole movie is about substance over style. And I mean, there's a lot of style, but it's all fitting in world building or character development. A little punching like that, it's like, come on, Jamie.
Okay.
Spider. Let's talk about Spider. And I don't know if you picked up on, like, it's almost like he could be a young Everett K. Ross, like an origin story. I got the vibe because he was like a fish out of water, like Everett K. Ross in Wakanda. He's like the token.
Well, I didn't think of him like that. I told you, to me, he was more so Chaka from Land of the Lost, or I gave him Robin Williams from Jumanji when he came back, because again, it was just kind of like he was there just because they didn't want to kill him. He couldn't. I told you, they were like, no, this is not a spoiler alert to the film. He's there. He can't go home because they like, we don't put baby in cryopods.
And he's the son of.
Oh, now you're going to give a spoiler alert. We're not doing spoilers. He is the son of somebody from that film.
Okay. We won't
That
say that.
yeah, we won't say. Well, with that being said, my point was, well, damn it, you couldn't send him home when he was a baby.
Yeah,
He's an
true.
adolescent now. We had a good 5 to 7 year gap where you could have thrown him in that pod, thrown them little rice cakes in there, and got him back home. I agree with what the
Yeah.
mom said. He belongs with his people.
Yeah,
And I wasn't
but
speaking
by
Navi,
by
sorry.
that time they were his people, and because you
You can
notice,
tell
like,
from his
as
little
she's saying that, it's cutting to him playing with the kids, and he's
right,
in his element. Yeah, those are his
right,
people.
right. But you know what I'm also thinking about? It sucks though. You know what I'm thinking about now? Spider had to be white
Oh yeah. Why? Wait, why?
because. And it sucks. He shouldn't have to be white, but he had to be white because could you imagine if he wasn't and all the things that Spider was doing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, it's like, and this is
Yeah.
not Wakanda now. This is
Yeah.
Pandora. So it would have been
And it's a
such an.
white. It's a white
See what I'm saying? It
director.
would have been
Yeah.
outcry. You couldn't send him home.
He still rocked the dreads though.
Oh, now whoever did. See, tell your brother Dan. That's that could have been his hair. He would have kept going.
James says, I think I might be the only one that didn't mind Spider.
Oh
The
no, I didn't
actor
mind
was pretty
Spider.
solid, and he was one of the few characters that had some kind of arc. I liked him. I thought that was a very interesting part of the film too, because
Yeah.
you thought that, there's this dynamic between him and his father, who we're not going to say who he is, but
Mhm.
you think like, oh no, like he might go Anakin. He might
You never know.
switch.
Yeah, he has a little. I would say some of that here. What is that?
And yeah, I think he was the kid was a great actor. That kid is in he's in the Marvel movies. He was in the Marvel movie that that took Avatar 1's place in the box office.
That could have been anything. So
no,
many.
no,
So many.
it can't be anything. It was one
No,
thing.
no,
it was
no,
one
no.
of the Avengers.
James, could you fact check David over? He's just spewing out random Marvel facts.
It was one of the Avengers movies, either Endgame or Civil War or something like that.
Okay.
Annie says, "Good save, roll," because I almost spoiled it.
Thank you.
That's why you're not here tonight, Annie.
What? You didn't tell me that. You told me she couldn't make it.
Like when we got to keep it clean for the kids, and when we got to specifically not spill the dirt on anything about a movie.
Oh no,
Annie's
yeah, because he did tell me about that ride home where you spoiled. He specifically asked you not to.
She'll be the first to admit that she speaks and then thinks.
But I'm saying, what did she spoil?
Annie,
what did she spoil for you?
Huh?
What did she spoil for you? What was that?
She was insistent on spoiling.
Wednesday? Was it Wednesday?
No. It was something I was
with
actually
Steve Carell.
watch. There's too much stuff on
It's
Netflix.
too much. It is
There's
too
been
much.
like 7 things since then.
Yes.
I was worried about which way he was going to go, but I was so glad that he stayed loyal to.
There's
the spoiler. There's the spoiler.
No, it's not.
You're spoiling it.
No, she doesn't.
You're giving away the You
just stop it, man. No,
the arc.
What arc? Arc for who? We already had the golden arcs. The golden arcs. So we're back. So okay. So again, I just want to say again. Okay. So again, which like I say, so moving on from Spider, one of the other things I will say is that there's so many. Oh no, there.
He said, yeah, he has a cameo in Endgame as a kid riding the bike past Ant-Man. Okay, here's a cameo.
Would you stop bringing up things you know nothing about? You made James use his little googly fingers to find something. I said for an extra.
I said Spider was in Endgame, one of the Avengers films.
Anyway, so with that being said, again, there are a lot of characters new characters and old characters. I will say this: I love. Again, you asked me earlier what film I would compare this to, and I told you Planet of the Apes. And one of the reasons why I say that is because you still see the interaction between there's the human side, there's the Navi side, but then there's that side on both sides that's still working like the inner. You have Navi that are working with the humans now, and then you now have humans working with the Navi, and that interaction of those, it just reminds me of that's the movie it reminds me of, but also reminds me of life. Again, so many things like people on different sides still trying to help each other see what's going on. And so the words are just different. Sky people are probably racist or mankind or whatever from mankind, if you will. And then they are man. It's not even racist. No, sky people are mankind. Yeah. If you watch Wonder Woman, it was this man, and then they say mankind had devil blood. So that's why I say that's one thing. James Cameron's never been accused of being a scholar, or he's never been Shakespeare or anything like that. He's not going to win the Pulitzer or anything, but his films are considered great. I'll give him that. So if you're coming for this novelistic story, this greatest story ever told, you're never going to get that. But the visual, you don't need that. The visuals themselves and the
I don't
acting.
know.
I think the acting really carries
The
it.
acting was great, but I think I disagree. I think the story is there. Like I heard whispers about that too. That like
You know why the story's there? Because you've read it so many times. You've
yeah,
seen it so many
oh
times. The
yeah,
story is
Fern
there.
Gully and
Yeah,
and Moby Dick and
yeah, I
whatever
mean, what
else.
else you
Like
want from me, bro? I'm not knocking it.
I
It's
don't.
not blatantly there.
But I don't think. Here's my point, though: is that sure I mean that's every movie, though. The story. It's very rare that you're going to come across a totally unique story that hasn't been told before. But the what makes a movie good or a story good is if you could take a story that's as old as time and tell it in a unique way with characters that you really care about. And just like the first one, I think the second one does the same thing where it takes James Cameron takes his time developing the place, the people, the relationships. He builds really great complex like the where it's going to be the colonel versus what's his name
Oh
the
yeah, he
guy
said. Now I will
like
give him that. He sets the
the
story up to where you don't
and it's
question.
like that classic. I mean, it's Shakespeare. It's like
I just said the exact opposite of that. I
no,
said it's not
but
Shakespeare.
I'm arguing that it is. It's that Shakespearean tragedy, the family tension building. Like where he has his kid and they have his kid, and the tension doesn't get any higher than that. And when children are involved, like vengeance is never so gratifying and like wanted. And I think James and you like it's easy to it's difficult to create a story where you're setting up all those pieces and I think he does it so well that it's you don't even really appreciate it because it's happening over such a long period of time. Uh, I think that the story falls short the same way that the effects fall short in that it's too good that it's seamless and you can't even appreciate how great the effects really are because you can't even see really where the effects are happening, and the story is so good that it's like, oh, I've heard this so many times, like yeah, but we didn't get up and go pee for 3.5 hours. It
I'm
held
not
us in our
knocking.
seats.
Put it this way. I don't want to make it seem as if I'm saying that the story is lacking. I'm saying that overall, if you're going to ask me what are the superlatives of this film, the story is not going to get the highest of the marks as far as according to everything else. It'll be up there again. The story's there. It does not take away from what's going on. I'm cool with the story. It's not super simple and it's not super complex. It's right in the middle. It does justice for what
It's
it needs.
easily digestible.
There you go. There you go. You're not going to be
But
like,
I
now
think
wait a minute.
it has really like the emotional depth is something that you can't take
Correct.
away from it.
Because put it this way, it never reaches, oh, I knew that was going to happen. It
Yeah,
never reaches
yeah.
that. So I'll give it that.
No, and even when it is predictable, it doesn't take away from the emotional gratification that you're getting. Like you kind of knew, like the one of my favorite scenes in the movie is you have the whales that are introduced with the water people, and there's and one of the whales is an outcast, and
You
he's
remember his
been
name?
no, I
Was it
don't. I even
Preemie or
tried to
Pravi? Or it was something like that. You
it
saw it
that
today.
that was probably my favorite part of like my favorite storyline of the whole thing was that whales storyline.
Would you have
And
been that? Would you have been his son?
um
No, I'm talking about Sam.
oh
Sam
yeah,
said, yeah, you'd
yeah.
have been his son.
But what my point is though is that with that storyline, I kind of knew like that whale's gonna have a redemption arc. There's gonna be a awesome moment where that whale gets to save the day. And I'm not spoiling anything because, like I said, like
He's
if
not a whale. He's a Turok.
but even knowing it,
He's a Turok. He's not a whale.
okay, but it's a whale.
No, it's a Turok.
I'm a
No,
human.
Earth's well, you're on Pandora, and for this show, we're blue. It's a Turok.
Well, I think that my point is though is that even knowing vaguely where that story was going with the whale, when it finally got to that moment, James Cameron and just the filmmakers in general did such a good job putting the pieces in place along the way and building slowly and taking their time with that and revealing things at a perfect pace that when it got to that moment at the end or towards the end when the whale has his moment, Turok has his moment.
Thank you.
Turok Dinosaur Hunter and
No.
64.
No.
But when he has his moment at the end, I thought that was like it I was getting chills and everything, and I knew it was going to happen. It was just done. It was
Oh,
just
now
done
that
really
might have been one of my
effectively.
favorite parts. But what I will say this really quick is that I am so happy that James Cameron. Wait, who did Jaws?
Steven Spielberg.
I am so happy that James Cameron. Let's just put it this way: the weaponry in Pandora is awesome, and in this film is awesome. But I'll say this: we wouldn't even know Jaws' name had he had that spear gun that old boy had in this film. Cause yeah, like I'm just thinking about like Jaws would be like dun dun
It wouldn't even have got to the second dun.
It'd be like dun tonight. I'm coming home. Like that gun. I was like, oh my god. He was like, load me up.
What that guy? One of my favorite quotes says, "If you can't get out of it,
get into it."
Like, oh, that needs to be on a bumper sticker. James said the story was pretty much lifted from the first movie. Instead of saving the rainforest, they're saving the whales. Again,
James, thank you. James agrees with me. I'm gonna have a butterfinger for that.
I'm not trying to sit here and argue that the story is original. I'm gonna be like Clint Eastwood. I'm gonna argue with the chair now. I'm not gonna argue that the story was original. I'm just saying that the framework might be borrowed, but all of the little pieces that he put on that framework made it. I think it makes it an awesome story. There's only so much framework out there. Okay. The battle in the beginning, when they're like the first battle, when they're flying through the air, then you get a lot of those punch-in shots, and the suns are getting involved into the action.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I thought about that was like, how crazy would it be? Like, they don't really make it out like it's some like thing that they're extremely concerned about. Like, I couldn't. Could you imagine going into war with Jayla and like she's on the front lines with you, like? I mean, but would you be just would like I would be they just didn't seem very
yes
nervous.
And no, because again, no. Yes and no. If you notice, he said you were spotters. They weren't on the front line. They were supposed to be up in the air. They were supposed to beat up in the air, and they were supposed to call in things that were going on. If you notice throughout the film, they said Sully stick together, and even the young one was like, "I can't leave them behind." Even they're raised to do that from birth. So yes, I would have done it. And no, I wasn't surprised. I love that part of the film.
The dynamics between the families is what got me, Annie. Yeah, that's what I agree. I think that's what drives the story,
right?
And but setting up those dynamics so well, I just feel like when they're in battle together, that the gravity wasn't expressed to me of the situation that you could lose your son.
What film were you watching? He said it.
Yeah, he said it, but I didn't
feel
it.
He was like, they had a knife to our son's kid's throat. He said it, and the old girl was crying. She's like, "We gotta go, man." What film were you watching?
But like, why even let them be anywhere near? To just go. Like, I'm just making note. Like, I'm not saying it's anything wrong with the story or the acting or how they conveyed it. I'm just saying it's kind of weird that the whole family fights together.
He's King Warrior. His wife's a warrior. The sons want to be like him. The girls want to be.
I mean, don't they put any forethought into like protecting the throne? You're gonna have both sons out there.
Didn't you see Wakanda? Wasn't they all out there?
Okay, same thing for them then.
We're out there. What's the problem?
Keep somebody back, so if everybody, the bloodline, there's somebody alive in the bloodline. If the whole S house goes down.
They made it clear that they're the Fast and Furious. They're the Torettos of Pandora. They stick together, family. They stick together. That's what they do.
They stick. Yeah.
You saw them sleeping together, which is a little weird all the time. There's nobody had their own beds apparently. Like, this is what they do, man.
What James said, the family stuff had moments, but a lot of the stuff with the kids was tedious for me. It felt like a Disney.
Oh my god, people. James is not happy about this.
There were now not even full scenes, but there were brief moments within scenes that made me feel like I was watching something with Adeline on the Disney Channel. But you were talking about them all sleeping together. That was something when they went to the when they left, so they have to leave the forest because
for some reason unknown.
Yeah, so they take refuge somewhere else with the water. That's where the water people come into the movie. It's probably about 90 minutes, halfway through the film.
Okay.
What I took away from that was like, how awesome would it be to just show up in a new place and no questions asked, no credit check, no ID, no what's your income. here's your place, family for 6. There you a family of 6. There's
But
your
there was a
house.
credit check. There was a where's your ID. There was a what kind of tale is that?
I'll take that credit check any day over what the actual credit checks that we have to deal with here.
Okay. All right, all right.
And he says they all were ride or die no matter what.
This is very true.
Yes, that is true, but don't do that. Just leave somebody at home just in case everybody dies. Somebody else can continue to ride. Just leave somebody home.
The girls weren't in war.
They weren't supposed to be out there. Yeah, that's true. They weren't supposed
And
to.
that's what I said. I just said that. I told you they were spotters.
But later on in the movie, they were allowed.
How many times did he say, "What do you guys do?" If anything, he was a bad dad in that perspective because he wasn't harsh enough on them. All he kept saying was, "Didn't I ask you not to do it?" And in fairness to them, Dad, you never punish us, so I'm gonna keep doing it too.
I have a weird theory that I
feel like boy.
And now we're gonna have to play this really.
No, you're gonna have to play. This is your theory.
Okay, so yeah, correct. Do you think? I get the feeling that James Cameron has some like. Do you think he has a hidden incognito avatar folder with proprietary artwork and digital renderings of particular characters in particular situations for his private consumption on his personal computer?
I do not. I blew not.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I guess it's just me. If you think that James Cameron has a personal avatar collection for your eyes only on his computer, I just got those vibes. Like sometimes it seems like he was sexualizing characters, even young characters, in places that there could have been many other ways to convey it.
I didn't get that feeling at all.
Never?
No. Especially with Disney being involved in this. Come
Somebody
on, man.
let me know that I'm not the only one, please.
One is the loneliest number.
Let's see. Where are we at in the comments? They were all right in, and they weren't supposed to be
you
there.
Just asked the wrong question. Maybe if you'd ask more specific
and
questions,
you
I could have
talked
been
about
with you.
me giving spoilers. I don't know. What did I spoil? Did I spoil something?
I think you did, yeah, because I had to stop you. You were like, he left the force, and I was like, well,
for James Cameron's future attempts to
hire you,
get Zoe Saldana to get painted blue in real life and come.
Hold on, if it exists, there's I'm pretty sure I think he's trying to say there's a something emoji ton of it,
yeah,
a hit ton of it.
What the heck?
Heck, yes. What?
But like since we're getting into the water people now,
hold on. No,
what?
Before we get there, I want to because I don't want to forget these guys here because you gave the Wakanda war rhino such a hard time. So I want you to tell me what you saw in this film. This is not a spoiler. What did you see? Remember, I looked at you and like you gave those war rhinos such a hard time. Didn't they have like some dancing bears, those Chuck E. Cheese animals throwing stuff at somebody at one point? And I looked at you. I'm like, what are those little things right there?
I don't remember what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, you do. You do.
Dancing bears.
There was these little animals that weren't. I was like, oh, you have no. They never
and
mind.
He says that's gross. It is gross. That's why I'm trying to bring. It's just a theory.
No,
I don't know what dancing bears you're talking about.
They were sitting on the mountain and they unhooded themselves and they start throwing things. And I was like, I said, I don't want to hear nothing else about those war rhino Wakanda.
You're thinking about Ewoks because you made a comparison to Ewoks later on. There were never Ewoks in this movie.
James, help me out, man. Somebody help me out here. Annie or James, help me out. There was some point where there were different animals that looked like little. You know what? I'll wait.
Just a bunch of little spiders.
No, I know you're gonna do this.
So getting to the water people, let's talk about that dynamic. Like how and James Cameron said that he's going to introduce like a lot more tribes too in the future movies. Like there's apparently 6 or 7 other islands and everybody kind of like the world. People come up differently, they look different, they have slightly different characteristics that are evolved to be where they've come up for hundreds of years. So what did you I thought Royal was he is too. James said,
oh my gosh,
I'm gonna be honest, I've forgotten at least 50% of this movie. So I have a feeling that your review of the film is not satisfactory.
It's not family friendly.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought introducing the different tribes of people, I think it's like their version of races,
Yes.
and then I thought it was really interesting, and he did it very simply. It's very on the surface, like they were making fun of them, like their tails weren't thick enough because
Five fingers,
yeah,
demon blood.
yeah, and then they didn't have the fins, or their arms were
They
too
couldn't hold
lengthy.
their water under breath. They learned that really fast.
But I thought that was neat how they it's like it's a conversation about discrimination and racism and bigotry without it's like it exists universally,
Right.
not just worldly.
I'll just say this too, but
But
the,
think about that though. I mean, if there were aliens that existed,
they do.
okay, and then they all like multiple races of aliens on one planet,
They do.
it's weird to think that they deal with the same kind of stuff.
No, it's not weird at all to me because species are species. There's always been men are territorial, so are tigers, so are bears.
And some would argue that we will remain a single planet species until we become unified enough to come together and bring our technology together. Like if an alien race, which is weird because like the fact that humans make it to Pandora kind of goes against that, because like I feel like if aliens ever made it here, we could assume that they set their differences aside if they were able to,
No, I see what you're saying. And again, I don't think we made it. I kind of think we invaded or cultivated it or something like that. Just like these Area 51, the alien crashes, you hold it hostage, you find out what it knows. I don't know how we got here, but
I don't. James says, I'm going to be honest. Oh, okay. Annie says, Royal was given spoilers. Oh my God, you guys are reading it late. I'm reading as quickly as I can.
I've never given spoilers. I can never have enough.
Royal was given. I think you might have.
But no, you're saying the with the different tribes and the different clans.
The way they touched on that,
I did like it. I did like it, and again, like I say, that's the world building that I love. And like I say, maybe where the script wasn't super original, the world building is. And then again, you still need. Here's the thing: you don't want a new world, a new technology, and a crazy script, and you'll never understand it till. So to his extent, he probably gave it the best script treatment that it could have without trying to do all these other new things. And one thing we both talked about was is that our guy Sam Worthington, I'm saying that right. Yeah. That again, this is not a spoiler alert. If you're looking to go see his actual face, you may want to watch the first one or Google it while the movie's on, because you never see his true face again, not in a flashback or anything. And I love that James Cameron kept true to that from the first film, to where at the end, his body from that tree that was in the forest, they took his regular body and put it into the Navi body full time. So we never see him again or reference him again.
Yeah.
Like that way.
Well, you're talking about the script and world building, and we're about 90 minutes into the movie where they meet the water people. You could tell that James Cameron was super excited about this technology of being able to show underground in this new, or underwater in this new way. And I wrote here because I thought it'd be really interesting to see the script in a 3-hour film. Like, I just wonder how long the script was, because so much of it was beautiful filler. Like, I wasn't mad about having to watch 7 straight minutes of like no advancement in the story, no character development, just literally watching a underwater documentary that looked really awesome in 3D. Just watch. But like like, how does that translate to the script? It's like swimming, pretty bubbles, more swimming, fast swimming.
I mean, and essentially, yeah, because I mean, think about it. I mean, it's not really that technical. It's not really that you don't have to be a rocket scientist to be underwater. What I mean by this, I don't mean like scuba dive, stuff like that. But once you get underwater, think about it. Swim fast, turn around, swim slow, up, down. I mean, it's kind of Nintendo. It's just not that much here now.
They called it a thin fin. Yes, that's yeah. What's up, thin fin? Movie Junk says, that's a good question. Is this film better than the first?
I would say. Hold on.
Thanks for watching, Movie Junk.
Okay. I say yes.
I agree. But I feel like it's a biased opinion because we saw it in theaters the way it was supposed to.
True.
But then again, they had 13 years to improve upon the technology and push it that much further. So of course it's going to be better. The story, I think it's building. You could see where he's going, and it's something cool is being built.
I think you can watch the second one without seeing the first one, and then still go back and watch the first one as a prequel or something like that, and still feel as satisfied.
Yeah, because he builds the characters, and then a lot of new characters are introduced. Then you know just enough about where they're
It's like
coming
going
from.
back to meet Jamie Lee Curtis, and I'm sorry, Sigourney Weaver in the first one instead of the second one. Like, yeah.
Can we have James Cameron take over the 2023 Little Mermaid? That underwater world needs some color.
But we talked about that. I said, listen, that's why everybody pushed their films back. Black Panther, with Namor underwater and other films, because listen, nobody should do a water film for the next 5 years after what James Cameron just did with this.
Which somebody, I'm not gonna blast his name out there because it's whatever. They're like, Avatar 2 is Wakanda Forever, and I was like, that's like, I said, first of all, the concept for Avatar 2 that it was going to be like water based was decided on back in 2013.
Yes, very true.
And it's just not fair to say that one cancels out the other. I think they both are perfect conversations about colonization, and they work as companion pieces.
No, it was more so, but I might say this: if anything, you can compare it to the water people look. The water people color look the same, which is why. Speaking of that, that's why we went with these color lines today. You're representing the first Avatar, the Na'vi, and I'm representing the water Na'vi.
Movie Junk says, of course, really enjoy your guys' podcast. Thank you. We've been checking you guys out too. Likewise.
Yes, we have, like a blockbuster tape.
James says, Movie Junk, visually, it's better than the first. Story and character-wise, it's about the same. Yes, I would agree with that, James. Story, actually, perfectly put. Visually, of course, better. Story and character, it is like right on par. And we'll get into I think 1 through 5 of like what that par is.
I think the acting's better in this one because there are more emotional scenes.
Yeah, and the technology is there to better express
their face, their eyes, and everything.
Oh man, it is. There is something weird though. Like at times, it's almost like he made it look like they had makeup on that was rubbing off, and they had like Caucasian skin underneath.
That blue. Wasn't that. Even though they're blue, they still wear war paint.
That's what that is. But it was I know that that's not what it was, because there is no makeup, there is no person under there. It's all, you peel that away, it's just zeros and ones. But it's like I don't know. It's just a weird. That bothered me in the first one too. Like sometimes there would be like, it just looked like blue paint was rubbing off of.
You would hate to see how Mystique. You would hate to see Mystique in the first and second X-Men.
Oh, I would love to see the makeup run off of Mystique in the first and second X-Men.
Yeah. Okay.
Earmuffs.
It's okay. Jeez Louise, guy.
Hey.
Yep.
I got a picture for this. James Cameron coming back with the Titanic, man. Like this is that scene with the whale at the towards the end. The whale causes some damage on a rescue mission, and it's just amazing effects. But then the thing starts capsizing, and
look at those face. Look at that face, man.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's definitely a callback. It was Titanic.
It was definitely a callback. Yeah, it's a callback.
I didn't even know when we were watching it though that Kate Winslet was
the leader of the water people. The queen leader. Yes.
That is like the ultimate. There needs to be an True Hollywood story about the hell that Kate Winslet went through in the making of Titanic, to the point that she said she would never work with James Cameron again. And the movie that she decides to come back on has her beating a world record. Kanye has her beating a world record of shooting consecutively underwater, and she plays the leader of the water people. But that is just,
what I'm thinking?
Irony.
I'm going to tell you, it's probably somewhere buried deep down inside. And I thought about this here. We probably have to wait until I was almost going to say the Blu-ray, but when it comes out on digital release, you can't, even if he didn't do it, I would have done it. There should have been, what I'm going to say, like while they're in the water somewhere, they shouldn't have said what's that down there, but there should be some shot where there's some sunken ship down there that is passed by real fast, and you don't even, you find stuff when you go back and watch it. Give me no help on that, man. I was basically saying, what if the Titanic was sunk somewhere? He placed it there.
He had an Easter egg.
But not that it was really there. But what I'm saying.
But almost like Pandora had their own Titanic situation.
Right. Yeah.
That was that. We're watching it. It'll be in the third one. That ship will be at the bottom like a Titanic. That was bigger than the Titanic.
It was, but I'll agree with you. Once they got inside the interior of that boat or whatever they were in, that you definitely got Titanic vibes. I mean, look at that. You almost can go, if we had time to find the screenshot, it's almost same thing.
Yeah, one of the prettiest shots of the movie right here. There, that
Oh,
again,
that's
the
beautiful.
shots with the whale, and that's
That's
fake.
beautiful.
All that is they're like
That's real, man.
it was one of those shots, and imagine seeing it in 3D where at one point this is a complete 180 where that surface of the water is at the bottom of the screen and it just looks so trippy, almost like he's what you see the pictures like girls posting them on Instagram where they turn them they stand on their hands inside of under a swimming pool so it looks like they're walking on water. It was kind of like that effect, except this wasn't some girls on Instagram. This was James Cameron, and it's on IMAX 3D. It was just amazing looking.
You know what else I want to know? I want
Hmm.
to know what's outside that reef. We didn't get to see everything outside of it.
Yeah, that was a
That was
great
scary.
scene.
That was very scary.
That reminded me that was a lot like the opening of Little Mermaid, actually.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Yeah,
The shark chasing.
yeah, because they didn't explore everything. Because I was thinking about like, remember that one animal got ate by the other animal. The one that got ate, I was like, well, how bad donkey would it have been if he would have just came and started eating those people at the end that were, you know what I'm saying? Because he was out there, but I was like, man, that was outside the reef. I think they were inside the reef when that was happening. So yeah, that'd have been so cool, man.
That scene with the whale at the end.
What Tarak?
Yeah, sure. With the dude, with the dude, the dude,
effing dude, yes.
the you know, hands up, hands way up, hands actually way over there.
That scene.
Was the most.
That
was one
amazing.
of the most gratifying
yeah,
scenes that I've seen, and that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you know why they did that though? You don't know why they did that though?
Why?
I don't care if it's a spoiler or not.
Because he took off his arm. Yeah.
There you go. Now there's that story. There you go.
There you go. What did they say? They're so wide.
What they say that later on.
Yeah.
You see, there we go. Look at you. All right, Peter. All right.
But that's the writing. That's the writing. It's like,
listen, man, we try to give you a little carrot. Don't make a
James
cake.
Cameron took us there. He took 3 hours to take us there, and when we got there, it was so there. It was so there. James MCD says that scene with the kids on the boat has my favorite line where the youngest says, "I can't believe
I got tied up again." Yeah.
Yeah, kudos to those kids.
I loved her though. I love that little kid. She had one of my favorite lines is, "We always stick together. We're not leaving anybody behind." Like she understood from her early, like that must be one of the first life lessons they teach them. Like togetherness. Like, you know.
And that little like the storyline with the kids on off their subplot, it was like Goonies vibes. It was like the 80s movies where a group of kids are out getting into stuff they shouldn't be getting into. And ended up saving, participating in saving.
I'm just to be honest with you, if I'd have came out of like, y'all ain't got no land activities, because I some of the trials they were going through trying to learn how to like these things, I was like,
yeah. I thought it was strange. The water people, the tree people are blue, the water people are green.
They're like Tilly.
It seems like it should have been the other way around. It's like he didn't think about that before.
No, it's the forest.
Yeah,
forest people are blue. I get what you're saying.
Tree people are blue.
Forest. It's the forest. The forest is just more than just a tree.
Green.
A forest is just isn't a tree, David. It's a whole ecosystem of things that are happening inside of it.
I know how forest works.
Clearly, you don't. Just. Look at that bundle pack. Old girl got on Kate Winslet. You see that hair? That's a good bundle, right? That's about $1,400 online right now. Yeah, I like it. I like it, man.
That spider.
Oh, look at those spider.
Yeah, I think it was just it was good. It was high stakes. Who would you say your scene stealer was?
You said we were going to disagree on this.
Yeah. Well, no, I said you're just not going to guess mine.
Okay, all right, it's all good.
Out of left field.
No, I'm going to tell you. Like, let me. I'll tell you who my scene stealer was here. Oh no, yeah, no, you know what? Hold on. Oh yeah, no, it is. I already know who my scene stealer, but I'm going to tell you who my honorable mention is first. Good grief here. Where'd you do with our list?
Yo, you need a list?
Thought we had a list here, man. What are you trying to make? I've been doing great all that day.
Kind of a list right there.
No. You gotta, what are you doing, man? Talk to the people. I'll pull up my list. Good grief, man. Talk to them.
Dead air.
Whatever.
So scene stealers. We're about to discuss.
Do it my way, man.
Thank you. We're about to talk about who we thought brought the best performance to the film. I'll go ahead and start while you're looking at that. My scene stealer is Jermaine Clement, Dr. Garvin, the guy that was like sarcastically going at the main hunter on the boat. Like,
that's your scene stealer?
I just saw he conveyed so much empathy in the situation that he was in. so well. Like, yes, that's why I go home and drink every night. Like he understands the Torox. That's why he's in the position he's in. But because he understands the Torox, he hates the position he's in. Like, understanding them puts him in a position to appreciate them, how smart they are, how intelligent they are, how empathetic they are, how just majestic and amazing they are. Like, he's a scientist first, but his knowledge, much like scientists in like history, where they're off the backs of things that that they've discovered. Now we have an atom bomb that's destroying the world. Like,
Oppenheimer.
so Dr. Garvin is that scientist. Like, he loves these things. He really appreciates what they are, as like how amazing they are as creatures. And because he knows that, he's like he's pretty much, taking a deal with the devil. He's accepting money uh to eradicate them. um and I think the way he conveyed that was just, he did a really good job. He never really comes out and says, I don't like the position I'm in, I wish I wasn't doing this. But the underhanded remarks that he would say to the hunter guy, like, like, oh, you're supposed to be, so much smarter, right? When he starts wrapping the thing around the boat, when
Oh yeah,
they
all of
stick him with the
that.
thing, he starts wrapping him. Like, yeah, just,
But
I
wasn't he
thought
on
he
that
brought it.
boat?
Yeah, he was on the boat, but he ducked.
I just want to say I'm surprised to hear you say that, because again, I mean, he had lines and scenes in the film, but you say he's your honorable mention, or he's your
No, he.
he's your scene star? That's what I'm
I'm gonna
like.
let you. I'm gonna let you soak on that one. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna catch up on these comments
okay,
real
yeah.
quick. And he says all the scenes underwater just took me for an emotional roller coaster, and I loved every minute of
So
it.
okay.
I agree. Yeah, the underwater scenes were.
Oh, it's flawless.
I caught myself. Yeah, I caught myself taking deep breaths as well. Yeah, especially when the kids were learning how to swim underwater for the first time, and they felt that, like, pressure and feel the desperation to come up for air. They conveyed that. Um, James says scene stealer, either Spider or Stephen Lang.
Thank you.
Despite how stupid the way they brought him back was, he was a bit more enjoyable this time. He also had a bit of an arc towards the end. That's spoiled. He did have an arc. We won't say what the arc was, but yeah, I agree. Stephen Lang would be a good honorable mention for me. Right behind my scene stealer, Jermaine Clement
Okay.
as Dr. Garvin.
Okay. So no, I want to go off of what James just said here.
I would have been a Goonie right there with those kids.
Agreed. I concur.
agree.
No, that was my honorable mention, Stephen Lang. I love what they did with it. And James, I don't think it was too campy about how they brought him back, because I thought they explained it pretty well. Like, it won't be you. It's not really you, but we're growing you back there. We're just going to transfer your conscious and your memory. So if they can transfer Sam Worthington into a big blue body, then I guess I can let everything else ride or whatnot. But yeah, no, but I will agree with you. To see that motion capture, that was unexpected for me. That performance came out of nowhere. I thought it was going to be just macho taco, just all shoot him up, kill him up type of guy. But no, he showed me something that I didn't expect. So that really, really, like I say, he was almost my scene stealer. But so yeah, definitely honorable mention to Stephen Lang for that, for the voice, the face mannerisms, wearing the mocap, and just the whole unexpected storyline that he took. But my scene stealer is going to be Zosalanda. To quote her, I'm not going to say where she said spoiler or whatever.
Who is that? What character is that?
See what I'm talking about? Zalanda, his wife,
Zoe Saldana.
the one that had all the kids. We've been talking about this entire show.
Zoe Saldana.
Okay, so like I just said here, that's what. What's wrong with you?
We're
Man?
not talking about the same person, right? I just want to make sure.
What are you talking about, man?
We're talking about.
Zoe Zalanda.
That person?
Yes. Anyway, so yes, that's going to be my scene stealer. I'm going to tell you why, because again, if you notice, again, her whole everything, like I feel like she's carrying the emotional toll. Before, number one, yeah, we saw what her emotion looked like when it was just her and she was caring about her clan and her tribe. But with this film, you saw her now have another family and another tribe to care about you. See, she's in love, but at the same time, she's not so just woman just being a woman, like I'm a mom, I'm doing this. Like, nah, she be ready to go to war before her husband's ready to go to war. Like no, we shouldn't leave. We're gonna fight this our home. Even when they're in the other place for whatever reason they're there. We should fight. We gotta help these people. She's always ready to go to war at every single time. That's why later on in the film, he looks at her and says, I need you to be strong. I'm like, no, man, she's pretty much the strong one of the family, brother. So, her mannerisms, her even dude, her eyes. I'm not gonna lie. She made me. It got a little close in there one time. I was like, come on, T, take it. Wait, take it. This the 3D is getting to me. The 3D is getting to me.
I had a feeling that you were gonna
What?
like her. Like,
What?
Well, just because
okay.
she is that.
Yeah.
She's your scene stealer in Black Panther was who?
Which one?
The first one. The leader of the Jabari tribe.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
No, I did not give it to him. That was in the second one. That was
not the leader of the Jabari tribe. The leader of the
the leader of the Dora Milaje. Yeah, Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
Yes, the girl from Walking Dead.
You like the strong, emotionally present. You like the strong women. The
I do.
ones that
I
can
do.
Take care of themselves. And she.
What's that mean?
Like, I'll give it. Like she came at it from both angles. And I think that's James Cameron too, because you got to think he did Terminator and Terminator 2. You got Linda Hamilton, who was like BA of all BAs.
Yeah. He loves strong women too, and I love strong women. But I love strong women who aren't overtly strong. Like they just always got
because she broke down at the end, right?
Exactly.
She conveyed both ends of the spectrum believably.
So and again, because I can see her face through that motion capture suit, and I can see like her eyes and her emotion, how much she loved the kids, how much she loved her family. How much.
Saldana.
Thank you. Oh, what's the problem?
Zoe Saldana.
What's the problem?
Zoe, what'd you say, Zoe?
I call no. She goes by both. What she does?
Up and down the field.
I'm just telling you, she does, brother.
Zoe Saldana.
I could slow it down.
Zoe Saldana.
She goes by both, man. I'm just telling you. Hey, have you met her?
I'll give that to you. I think
but no,
she
encompasses, dude.
But I only.
No, you want the doctor.
Yeah,
the guy who was in 4%, 3%, 2% of the film.
What he did with that, he was a very enjoyable character, and he's one half of Flight of the Conchords, which is like I've only ever.
I'd give it a Spider before I gave it to him.
Well, Spider was an awesome choice too, but
Spider was at 89% of the film,
and he did it. He was a good guy. He did a really good job. But I know this guy. Like I've only ever seen this guy make me laugh, and he surprised me. But I will agree with you. Like you. She did well too.
She's in 99% of the film.
And she did great. She did a really good job with that 99%. Sometimes it's more impressive to do more with less, which, Dr. G.
That's why you love Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, I'm not gonna veto you. I'm just gonna tell you, Zoe Zalander, whatever. She did kill it for me. Like I say, she brought the film. She brought it home for me. It was very emotional, and what she had to deal with, and again, when she had to buck up against the other woman, the other Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So even that stuff.
Yeah.
Do not speak for me. Yeah, come on, knock, man. Yeah, Zoe, man. Zoe. Yeah. Come on, man.
That was a great scene
come
too.
On, man.
When the two girls.
Yeah.
You see both the guys are like.
They almost went. God rest his soul. They almost went.
At that moment,
T'Challa. That is what I would love to see.
At that very moment, they became brothers. They're like,
what are you talking about there? You are my. Yeah. Yes, sir. So, yeah, man. Oh shit. Oh, I got the fish hands. I just saw that. I do it like. So anyway, guys, like I said, that was my scene stealer. What did they say in the comments?
You both destroyed her name. I said Zoe Saldana. I said.
Zoe Saldana.
That's exactly what I've been saying the whole time. Zoetrope over here. Zoetrope.
Oh, she said no.
We both destroyed her name. Yeah, we did. She did.
Good grief. What's next? We got coming. Hey.
Well, review. Well, no. If you could change anything about it, what would you change? And let us know in the comments too if you would have changed anything. James, just go ahead and start listing them off now. What would you change about A2? Wow.
Avatar 2, A2. Wow. To avoid dead air, how about you start?
I would have took no punch-ins, no digital punch-ins. You had that added work to post-production. Those editors didn't need any more work, and it's just don't do it.
And
while you're still thinking, we'll just say this is a family friendly episode for if you're thinking about taking your kids to see Avatar. There's a few choice words every now and then. There's one F word that gets dropped
And it's
very
not flounder.
strategically at the end. Yeah. But it's a 3 hour film, and you probably hear like 5 or 6 curse words. So
Honestly,
you see a lot of skin though, blue
a lot of
skin.
skin, a lot of skin. Honestly, to be honest, the only thing I think I would have changed is maybe runtime. I think I could have got that 3 hour story in a good 2:30. I really think I could have. Because again,
Yeah,
I know
I mean,
your
I'm not
world.
gonna argue
I'm
with
not
that.
arguing with it. I'm saying, like, when I say change, like, oh, it's a killer for me. Like, it takes this movie and makes it so bad. No, I'm just saying I could have got that same because seeing a lot of water. We spent a lot of time in Water World, which was cool. They're building the world and everything. But again, I just still felt like certain things we could have.
But with that, I think it's but before I rebut, I'll go and rebut you both at the same time. I hear James is like echoing your sentiments over here. I would make it shorter. At 50 minutes, I was like, yeah, the story's kind of lacking, but it's pretty looking. At 3 hours, I was ready to go to bed. Yeah, well, that's a perfect segue to my point. Is that we started the film at 10:30. It probably didn't actually start till 10:45,
Oh, maybe
10:50.
yeah.
We were walking out of the theater at like 3 in the morning, and I will echo my same sentiments from the first one. Is that when it was over, even at 3 in the morning, even with 2 Red Bulls coursing through my bladder, I would have sat there for another hour and a half. I really
Why? Because
like.
you had fallen asleep.
No, not falling asleep at that late in the evening, like sitting I can't make it through a movie that late unless it's really got me, especially in a dark theater. I'm out. I'm done.
You're done.
And that I was wide awake, edge of my seat, wanted more. I mean, there's just no disputing that James Cameron is a very, very capable filmmaker, and everything he does is very intentional. And I think he takes his time with the stories. And I think a lot of people like say it's overly pretentious or something, or like he's full of himself. I think he just really cares for the story and the characters that he's created. If that makes him pretentious, then we stand to benefit from his pretentiousness because he's making really compelling stories that are visually astounding. So, like, yeah, go. We waited 13 years, so 3.5 hours, 4 hours. Go all the way. 6 hours. Go 6 hours on the full. Well, oh yeah, glad that before we get into the review, James says something about the video game. Hold on, let me use his follow ups before we go too far. He said I saw Endgame 6 times in the theater, and I'm saying this is too dang long. All right. Well, I mean, it also doesn't feel like a complete story. There are a lot of things set up that don't feel needed for the story. I know there are going to be sequels, but this should have been a complete. Okay, I disagree with you there, and I'll get to that in the review part. But the video game part with the third one, fourth one, and fifth one coming out is like the fifth one coming out in 2028 with the metaverse becoming a thing now. How crazy would it be? Like James said, this would be better served like as a video game. What if the fifth one was some new incarnation that we don't even know about yet? Some new, because it's always James Cameron is always pushing the envelope as far as what technology will allow film to do. And what if the fifth one was some experience inside of a metaverse type situation where it's beyond 3D. You really are in it. You're like it's interactive to a degree. Like how crazy would that be?
It wouldn't be crazy at all. I mean, I would love it. I'll be honest with you. I would love something like that. Maybe you have to go to a special type of theater that, like you say, maybe because like there's VR stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're pretty much, I mean, it felt like you were in there. That's why I told you I didn't see people going to the bathroom. Once that I locked in, I was in Pandora. I was in the water. It made you feel like you were there. And again, if you didn't hear us at the beginning, if you have a problem with water or it really freaks you out, this is not for you. It should have been a warning there too, because I normally have to say stuff like they'll put warnings. I guess.
There is. I mean, it's called wave water. If you're afraid of water,
and then I'm thinking about, yeah, it is. But now I'm thinking about like you hit spot on about those Titanic scenes, about those things. So if we just really talked about the review of it, all in all, I give the acting. The acting was, I feel like, was to me pretty much stellar. Nobody. really took me out of their character. I didn't feel like anybody was overacting or anything like that. As far as the pacing, yes, it's 3 hours, but as far as a 3 hour film goes, I think the pacing is pretty good or whatnot. Again, they do a good job of just when you think you're getting a little bit too much lore, give you a little action, a little surprise, a little jump scare, a little kids being kids, a little, oh, look at you with the blue skin over there.
Yeah.
A little, hey, look at that tail. It's not a big tail. It's a small tail. Yeah,
a
the
little
drama.
a little suspense.
Yes,
It's
yeah. So here,
across the gambit.
yeah, it does. And so all in all, like I say, and at the end, it sets you up for more. I mean, don't get me wrong. When you always say what we change, I should have said the exact end, that final part.
You talking about
The end. The when the monk he was like.
Oh,
Like,
see,
you know,
okay.
like, we know.
So
we
that-
know.
that-
We know.
that
Yeah.
brings me back to James's comment,
Oh my
which is my
gosh.
review, which I think it's a perfectly contained story. You know that when they're talking about like releasing multiple sequels, that some of these are going to be segues, so like segue.
But we don't need
sequels.
it. And you know what?
I argued that you do, because it's not like he wasted 3 hours of our time. The
Oh, no.
ending maybe didn't feel conclusive, but it felt conclusive in the fact like it was almost like you take the 3 hours, you get awesome character development, awesome action scenes. There's a little bit of closure with the characters and where they're going, and then at the very end, it's almost like an epilogue that sets up where they're going from there. And I think it's like set up so well that it's like I can't wait to see that.
If you sit in a
battle.
3 hour movie, you know where it's going from there. Number one.
Mhm.
Number two, it's the same problem I had with Marvel when they used to be like, and Thor will return in Avengers, and Iron Man will return. Like, yeah, I know. Yeah, and I don't spoon feed me here. And I felt like the end. We haven't done this in a long time.
Okay, so you're not necessarily, your problem isn't necessarily with the fact that they didn't like wrap up what they were doing. They left it, that you're more upset with what I would usually be upset with. They spoon fed us what
was coming next. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I saw you looking there and I showed you. Remember, what did I say to you before we left? I showed you my phone. It said there is no after credit scene for Avatar 2. And you were like, better not be.
Yeah.
You had 3 hours. You better put it all in there. So maybe that's what it was. They were like, we're not gonna. Well, you know what? Maybe that was it.
Yeah,
They took it out of the end and pushed it forward. So maybe that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Because if that's what that was, thank you. Then I take all of that back.
Annie said, I absolutely love this movie. I would not have changed a thing. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Oh my god.
Spoiler, I even cried and didn't go pay to see it again in theaters. She went to go pay to see it.
I thought she said she didn't go pay to see it.
Love, well, we were children. It was literally children. It made us children when we went and saw it. Every minute of this movie, I have to go take a shower.
All right.
Me too,
Thanks, Ann. Thanks, Ann. Thank you very much. But yeah, that was my review. Would you agree with that review, or you have something different?
Hold on. Yeah. No, I think. What did you say?
You heard me.
No, I think I agree with that. With what you said about the ending. I don't feel like I was cheated by the ending, but I do feel like they could have. I agree that the narration wasn't needed for us to know that a battle was on the horizon.
Unless, like I just said, they had it as an end credit scene, and somebody was like, "Man, that's just too much, man. Just put it there." And if they did that and moved it up, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So there we go. Like it's like when you know
Annie would have sat through another hour as well.
I would not have. Me and James would have been.
Avatar 2 post credit scene. Sam Jackson, Navi walks up to Jake. I'm here to talk to you about. Is that I'm not getting that.
That's a mama joke. No, that's a Marvel joke. That's from the first Iron Man at the end. No,
Shield.
Oh yeah, there. Look at you.
Really?
Yeah. Sam Jackson shows up. I'm here to talk to you about it. He comes and said, "I am Iron Man," because Iron Man is the first superhero to say who he was and just be himself. With that being,
so what would you give Avatar 1 and what would you give Avatar?
Wow. Avatar 1, I've had enough years to watch it 1 through 5. I would give Avatar 1 a 3.5, to be honest with you, because again, you have to understand, it was from my experience. My experience was not in the theater. My experience was not the way it should have been. So that's on me. The second Avatar, 1 through 5 here, I'd give it a 4.5. And again, the reason why I give it a 4.5 would be is that I didn't have a problem with anything, and it's 3 hours. And again, I'm judging this on judging this on storyline. I'm judging this on technology because again, you make me wait 13 years. It better be something, which is why I told you about how I felt about Maverick, Top Gun Maverick. You made me wait 30 years and you nailed it all. So with this one, I think James Cameron definitely nailed it. I'm going to give it a 4.5 because was there room for growth? Yeah, actually there was room for not growth, consolidating. They should have consolidated the runtime by 30 minutes, but that's okay. No harm in that. I love that. Again, it set up these worlds. So now when I watch these next movies, we don't have to keep world building or we don't have to keep, bringing on lore. The story can evolve and we can start to see these other cultures. And I really feel like there will be an end game effect once we get to the 5th film to where there's going to be like, oh man, you got the water people, the forest people. I didn't even know we had dirt people, or I didn't even know we had fire people, or wind. We're the wind people. Like, you know what I'm saying? But we've been here the whole time.
There's going to be some boycotts when he introduces the dirt people.
Oh yeah,
someone's going to identify with that.
What is that?
Who are you talking about? Me?
I'm Muggle born. I'm a Muggle born.
dirt people just waiting outside a Home Depot parking lot.
A Muggle born.
No, I agree. I would say, well, let me ask you this: if you did this one, make you excited? Like, are you looking forward to the next version?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
I am too. So
because I wasn't looking forward to watching this, to be honest with you.
It set up the stakes really well of what's to come.
Yeah, because I think the first one, people didn't know if it was going to be a one-off. Yeah, he'll make another one. They gave up. And like you say, you risk losing your fan base when you do stuff like that. But clearly the box office records already from the first weekend and what's going on now, it said that he didn't lose his fan base. And you are correct. That was the perfect way to put it. I had no interest in seeing a second one when the first one came out, but I definitely am interested in seeing a third one now.
Yeah. Annie says that was my review. I give it 5 stars.
Fly fine F's. Oh,
James says I gave both movies 3 out of 5. As much flack as I give them, they're ultimately fine. I saw them; they were pretty. I'm never going to think about them again.
Hey, I guarantee he said it in that exact same voice.
I'd much rather see 5 sequels to Alita: Battle Angel, but sadly, we can't all get what we want.
Hey, James, why don't you, on side note, go check out Barbarian. We did a review on that. I don't know if you've already saw that, but pretty good. I think you like that. It's
just so crazy. I've never heard him sound so like
disappointed in a video game because he didn't play. He paid to go see a movie and he wound up in a video game.
So exceptional.
If he wanted to go see Tron, he would have saw Tron. That's a video game.
It's inarguably good. Like it's just inarguably good. I give both of them 4.5, and the only reason why I deduct 0.5 is for rewatchability. I do agree with James that they are, as amazing as they are, it's almost like overexposure to just it's too much. It's the senses are over fire. They're what am I trying to say? They're
oversaturated,
overstimulated.
Yeah.
And
I thought you were going with
it's almost like I
water.
can't take it all in, and for some reason, and it is so long. It's almost like you live in it, you experience it. When you're done, you're done. And I don't really have the urge to go back and rewatch these movies.
Oh, no. Now, rewatchability wise,
that's where it loses the 0.5 for me.
Yeah, I will give you that. Yeah, now that's perfect. That is perfect.
It's like, it's cinema. It's the big, if you're going to do like a big budget summer blockbuster type of film, this is how you do it. Like without like spoon feeding or like catering to the lowest common denominator.
To James's point, like I told you, I've rewatched Marvel's Endgame. I've watched Endgame at least 14, 15, if not 20 times. I've seen Top Gun Maverick at least 18 times. I don't think I'll rewatch this one. I'll just probably do a review of it right before the next one comes out. And that's not knocking it. It's just that, listen, it was 3 hours. You built the world. I know what world you're in. I mean, what do you want me to do, Cameron? I mean,
sensory overload.
That is it. Yeah,
too much.
It's a lot.
3D. I wouldn't say too much. I'd just say too much to retain. I want it all in the moment, but I just don't have the ability to
retain it all. Like your brain can't. Yeah. I will say this. That's why I told you.
If you ever go to I went to the Black Canyon. I stood at Black Canyon and I can't put in the words. Like it's like one of those things you have to be there. You have to go. You have to be in it.
It's like a concert or an art show. Like, yeah, you do have to Blue Man Grouper. So you got to be there. Like
it's an experience.
Yeah,
you gotta experience it. You can't be.
That's what it should just be. Avatar the experience. Yeah. Never coming to DVD. Never. Which there's always going to happen because they need the money. But yeah,
so if
I agree.
Sat here for 90 minutes with us joke's on you because you have to see the movie. There's no other way to experience it. You can't be told about it.
And hey, we're
Which is-
blue. We're blue for you. Did they notice that we're blue tonight? I thought they
Yeah,
kinda-
we blew ourselves for
hue?
you guys.
Well, not me. Mine's coming in 10.
All right, that's our. Do you have any other thoughts on it before we move on?
No, I just want people to go check it out. Like I said, I think he did a really great job with it, and I do want to have another thought. Coming attractions. What's coming up, Durden?
This Thursday, we got another episode of
Best Seat in the House with David McGifford.
And then December 27th, we go live for the last time this year. Annie will be right here in between us.
She will not smell like dog. She will smell like the beautiful
She won't
young
have a
lady that she
shower.
is.
Yes. And it will not be family friendly, so kids stay home.
No,
for
it
that
will
one.
not.
Go to bed.
Grab your ho-ho-hos and don't forget your other ho-ho-hos.
And then how's Emma
candy.
Everywhere coming along?
Huh? No, the ho-ho-hos, the
No,
candy,
I said,
and Santa Claus.
How's Emma Everywhere coming along?
Hey, man, why are you asking?
12:29.
Why are you asking me? You need to ask Young Box Cutter.
All right, I'll talk to him later. On Thursday,
Dun, dun.
hopefully this Thursday, 12/29, Emma Everywhere returns, reviewing the brand new Violent Night with Stranger Things, David Harbour. She'll also be talking about what makes a holiday movie. That's our lovely correspondent, Daisy Emma Catherine.
Yes.
And they've got their own little thing going on.
We
now.
do, man. I think
She
it's-
shoots it, he cuts it, and I just post it. It's a beautiful thing.
Shoot it, cut it, post it. It's going to be awesome. I got some surprises for him, man.
Yeah, okay, we're good on comments.
All right.
And,
So, hey, man,
yeah.
listen, I think this was great, man.
yeah.
Navi to Navi, I think we did pretty good. Feliz Navidad.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I've been holding that one all day.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Real quick before we go, don't forget you can support the channel. This is, it's the holidays. Help us out. Hashtag. Yeah, put a hashtag on there. Share us on Twitter, but
Wow.
also on Cash App, Venmo, and Patreon. That information is on the screen right now. And double check. Make sure that you're subscribed to our channel. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. We go live every single Tuesday at 8:30, and we post new content every Thursday. And there's little snippets and surprises in between during the week. So be sure to be subscribed and like us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Again, with the
What happened to
Patreon.
Wolf, man? I wish when Ryan had Wolf off The Office, all those things like you just press one button.
Wolf
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, whoa, Wolf Cola?
What you mean?
The Ryan had Wolf Cola, right?
No, it was just Wolf. It was like
Oh, okay. Always Sunny had Wolf
Wolf Cola. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And one time, just in case Mathis watches the rerun.
Yo no comprende mucho gusto.
You know what you got to do for me to get out of here?
What?
I'd be lying if I say you didn't.
Did you know what Durden?
What's wrong with you?
I want Mufasa.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
Here, if Annie's still watching, here you go. The poor kids. We said that the kids could watch us. We end it with Mufasa dying.
Wipe out. All right, kids. Listen, the kids go to bed. This is your family-friendly episode. And again, my name is Mr. Royal. This is
Dirty Godfrey.
and we're gonna hit you with that good old Mr. Rogers music in 3, 2.